I didn't expect to be raising a child alone. Not when he promised me the world. Not when we picked out names together. Not when he placed his hand on my belly and whispered, "I'll never leave you." But he did. And the worst part? He left the day I went into labour. I was 24, young, in love. Or so I thought. Charles was everything I ever wanted. Charming, attentive, supportive at first. He made me feel like I mattered, like I was seen. I believed him, I trusted him, I gave him everything. When I found out I was pregnant, I was scared, but hopeful. He kissed my forehead and said, "We've got this." We talked about nursery colours. We argued playfully about names. He rubbed my feet when I was tired. He told me I was glowing. He told me I was beautiful. He told me he couldn't wait to meet our daughter. Then came the silence. At first, it was a few missed calls, then nights spent out with no explanation. Then came the distance, the coldness, the detachment. I asked what was wrong. He said, "You're just hormonal." But it wasn't me. It was him. The night it happened, I was 9 months pregnant, alone in our apartment. Phone dead, no money for a cab, no neighbours home. My water broke on the kitchen floor. I waited for hours. He never came. I waited until the contractions made me cry out. Then I walked. 8 blocks, in labour, alone, in the dark. At the hospital, the nurses asked, "Is someone coming?" I lied. I said he's on his way. He wasn't. My labour lasted 17 hours. 17 hours of pain, fear, heartbreak. But when I held my daughter, the world stood still. She looked at me with eyes so full of life it broke something in me. And it healed me too. I named her Grace, because that's what she gave me, a reason to keep going, even when I didn't know how. Coming home was harder than the labour. No crib, no formula, no job, no help. She cried for milk. I cried with. I wrapped her in my last clean towel and whispered, "I'll figure it out." I sold my jewellery, pawned our TV, ate rice so she could have formula, cried into a pillow while she slept in my arms. I applied for Bent's waitlist, called churches, knocked on strangers' doors. Some days I felt like a beggar, other days like a warrior. But every day I kept going. I found a food pantry, a support group for single moms, a kind woman named Tanya who brought me diapers and didn't ask for anything in return. I started crocheting again, blankets, booties, bonnets, posted them online, got my first order, $20. It felt like $1 million. Grace smiled at me that night, like she knew, like she was proud. Orders trickled in, then more and more. I called my little business Wrapped in Love because everything I made was stitched with tears, with hope, with survival. Grace started walking. I almost missed it, working late, but I didn't. She stumbled across the living room, fell into my lap and laughed. It was the best sound I've ever heard. Years passed. I never dated, never trusted, never forgot. Then, a letter. From him, Charles. He wanted to meet her, said he made a mistake, said he was sorry. I stared at that letter for hours, then days, then weeks. I asked myself, do I want her to know him, the man who left us? I watched her play on the floor, humming to herself. I remembered every night I cried alone, every bill I paid late, every diaper I changed by candlelight. And I realised she didn't need him, she had me. But still, I let him call. I listened. I told him she's happy, healthy, smart. But if he wanted to be in her life, he'd have to earn it. One visit. Supervised. No promises. He cried. I didn't. He met her once. She smiled. She waved. She didn't know who he was. She called me Mama and ran back into my arms. That was all I needed. He never followed up, never called again. That was 3 years ago. Today, Grace is 7. She sings when she brushes her teeth. She draws hearts on my coffee mugs. She tells me I'm her best friend. And I am. Wrapped in Love is now a full-time business. I've shipped to 22 states. I hired 2 other single moms. We work during school hours. We laugh more than we cry now. Sometimes I still think of him. Not with anger, but with a strange kind of gratitude, because when he left, he gave me the chance to become someone I never imagined I could be. Strong, resilient, capable, enough. I was the forgotten woman with a child to raise, but I raised her, and I raised myself, and neither of us will ever be forgotten again.